Hello, David.
Hey, Nina.
How are you?
Your phone. I'm doing well. I'm enjoying it. It's a beautiful day.
It is gorgeous again today. Just the way we like it, with the sun shining.
We prefer the sun. Welcome everybody to True Liberty with the Equestrian Pedestrian.
Bitless and Beautiful, the Evolving Equestrian, Summerwood Stables if you like.
A lot of groups and communities that you guys can join to learn more. And what are we talking about today?
Something that came up because of the last video that we shared, which was the livestock video. The question of whether horses are sentient beings came up. David.
Everybody describes horses as sentient. I mean, it's like kind of like a cliche. It's like a copyright. It's like a trademark. Everybody says horses are sentient beings. So
who's everyone?
I guess people who are more interested in horses for that purpose.
I would have to say, without sounding judgy, that it's just really, sadly, just the more evolved equestrian and the more evolved layman who was willing to paint the horse as a sentient being. That's why I said the thing about today, about the other video, there was actually question from readers, people that watch the video, where they question whether horses are sentient beings. And when when a human wants to place emotions, feelings, perceptions on the horse that sound too human, they take great umbrage with that, and they say that you're humanizing them. You're humanizing them.
Right. That's one way of looking at it. I disagree.
Okay, so let's first talk about what does sentient mean. What does sentient mean?
I actually looked it up because I've been hearing, I swear, before this video.
Because you didn't know what this video was about.
No, I didn't know what this video was about, but also I talk a lot with my friends about horses, and I've heard multiple people say they're such sentient beings. So I was like, sentient, sensitive. I just want to know exactly what it meant. It meant feeling.
That they can perceive, they perceive their surroundings, number one, and number two, that they have feelings.
Right.
That they have feelings. So basically these people are arguing that horses have no perception about their surroundings, about their whereabouts.
That's what they're projecting.
Yeah.
Because they want to. Because if they see...
Well, that's what we're going to get to next.
Okay.
We're going to play a lot of connect the dots in this conversation. So they have an argument that they do not believe that horses are sentient beings. Instead, they want to label them as livestock and call them prey animals. Well, first of all, my first question is to you, why do those things have to be exclusive? Why, I mean, are we saying that all livestock and all prey animals do not perceive their surroundings or perceive their life and don't have feelings?
Interesting, because we know they've evolved to be so sensitive because they're prey animals. Not that all prey animals are extremely sensitive. Maybe horses are the most sensitive. I don't know.
So I wouldn't think they would have to be exclusive, because guess what? And this is the thing that I'm kind of excited to share with everybody. Guess who else was a prey animal?
Humans.
Us!
Oh, right, because they're
For
animals bigger.
like hundreds of thousands of years. We were prey animals.
Well, who was bigger? Lions?
Saber-toothed tigers, cave bears, cave lions, different types of like serpents and snakes.
That makes sense.
There was hyenas even attacked humans. Humans had to fear for their life. Guess where our anxiety as humans is rooted?
Survival, fear of predators.
Yes. Many of us deal with anxiety, feelings of anxiety, and hyperadrenaline. My husband has an excess of adrenaline. We were prey animals just like they were. But look at what happened to us.
Now we have pepper spray, we have guns. We learn as kids that bears are dangerous, to go like that to scare them away. So we've.
But do you know what they've labeled us now?
We're predators.
Super predators.
Super predators.
The human is a super predator.
Because we're destroying. Well,
we're a super predator. So we evolved from being prey to being a super predator. Now, when we were prey, are we going to then? This is one of the dots I want you to connect. Are we going to say that when we were prey, we had no feelings and no perception of who we were?
No, that's not true. Yeah.
No, of course not. And it's our survival instinct that helped us to evolve, to protect our feelings and protect our perception. Because, like you said before, because we were feeling, because we were perceiving, because we were thinking, That is what made us evolve.
Mm-hmm.
We had to protect ourselves. We knew to protect ourselves.
Or we would have perished.
Right, or we would have perished. So, okay, and here's another dot we're going to connect. How long have humans been around?
I used to know those stats.
Hundreds of thousands of years.
Okay.
Hundreds of thousands of years. How long have horses been around?
No idea.
Millions of years. Millions of years. So horses have been around longer than we have. So are we going to say that for some reason the horses did not evolve, but we evolved? Why would that be? So maybe once upon a time they, I have no idea, were no more sentient than an ant, but I'm sorry, but I believe that ants are incredibly sentient. Have you ever watched ants for a long time?
I watch them when they
Meet each other,
yeah,
and then they go, yeah.
yeah.
I'm telling you, I have a hard time believing that there's anything on this planet that is not sentient.
My mom did raise me to put spiders outside.
Thank you to your mom. We put spiders outside
As
too.
annoying as it is.
So here's what I want to know though. So why is it in our or anybody's best interest to believe that the horse is not sentient?
Well, of course, it's yeah. If you're needing to use them and possibly abuse them to get your job done or save time, or
Let's take my phone, for instance, just because it's here. And I do this to my phone. Oh gosh, I hope I didn't hurt it. That's me. I hope I didn't hurt it. But other people would think it's a phone, it's plastic, there's some other materials in it. It doesn't have any feelings, right? So I can do that. I can do that. It doesn't matter because it's not sentient. It doesn't
Right,
feel what I'm
right,
doing.
It's an object.
Oh, for those of you who are listening to this like a podcast, I'm hitting my phone really hard. So now, let's connect the dot. Why is it in someone's best interest not to believe that the horse is sentient, just like a phone or a rock or a stump of a tree or, I don't know, a stick? Why things that allegedly
serves
don't
their
have feelings?
interests.
It preserves their interests, which are what, David? Connect that dot for me.
Hurting the horse for their own benefit.
Exploiting horses for their own benefit, harming horses, basically mistreating them. Treating them in such a way that I was just now treating my phone. That it'll be okay to hit them, it'll be okay to tie them up and allow them to hurt themselves.
It's the same as the slave trade.
It is.
If you objectify or dehumanize somebody, it allows you to guiltlessly exploit them.
Exploit them and
it's the same with
harm
women.
them.
Same with-
Yes, women. I mean, many peoples and animals have gone down this road. Dogs, we used to throw our dogs outside on a chain in the snow
right.
without even a dog house, and that was okay. And now they can go to the Hilton Hotel, you know?
And this isn't to be political or socially acceptable. It's just taking historical examples of dehumanization and objectification.
So here's another thing. One of the people that in the discussion today said, see, you're even saying dehumanizing. A horse isn't human. How can you use the word dehumanizing?
It's a
Guess
term.
what? There is no word. And why is there no word? Why do you think there's no word?
Because the history didn't allow for that.
Yes, exactly. We don't that's the saddest and most frightening part of all, that we don't have a word for that because we accept the fact that people treat them that way. So there's not even a word for it.
Decentify.
That's great, David. We decentify them.
Because if they're sentient beings.
Right, we decentify
Or
them.
desensitize is more
No, that would,
individual.
yeah. Desentienate.
Desentient, yeah.
I don't know.
Desensify,
We'll have to
desentient,
think
yeah.
about that one. If you have, hey, if anybody knows of a term for this, like, you know, people maybe in like vegan communities or something like that.
Right.
Maybe there is a word for this when we want to strip away the qualities that make them special.
Mm-hmm.
We are or feeling or sentient. When we want to strip those qualities away, there must be a word.
Like you talk about the learned helplessness. When you put the halter on, they kind of just... So that's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah, there must be some word to describe when we want to strip the horse of all of its positive qualities. So, the people that I was having the debate, we'll call it a debate, the discussion with, they felt that some of the qualities that I attribute to horses do not exist. So I want to ask you, Travi. No, Travi, I want to ask you, David, about Travi, okay? I really do want to ask Travi what he thinks about all this. although I think he knows. But I want to ask you about Travi. We'll just take Travi because he's here. Have you seen him and witnessed him and observed him to be intelligent?
Yeah.
Have you seen, observed, or witnessed him? I feel like you're on the stand right now. Have you, where were you on the night of? Have you seen or observed him to be sensitive?
Yeah, he's one of the more sensitive ones. I can see it in his eyes the way he interacts with you.
Have you seen, observed, or witnessed him being creative?
Yeah, I can't really recall. Like, can you?
Like when he has options, how he addresses
yeah.
how he thinks, how his mind works to think how he's going to address his options.
Yeah. He has a fear of objects over him, like a shower curtain or stripes or something like that, and he will navigate his way through for the least. Yeah, he's clever.
Yes, he's very clever. And when you're clever, you can create different outcomes, right? So that's creative.
You can think for yourself. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Have you known him to be empathetic?
Well, I could say empathetic, like when I'm cleaning his stall, he'll hang out with me, and that makes me feel special.
So do you think possibly he knows that it makes you feel good when he hangs out with you?
Yeah.
And he wants to give you that time?
Yeah, and for example, early when I was starting here, I was anxious one day, and I realized I was anxious, and he was standing away from me, so I stopped, I checked in with my body, I took a deep breath, and he walked over. So, and that's common with horses. That's kind of like what the first thing that I saw in a documentary, which is why I came here. But yes, yeah, it's hard for me to say, but
Okay,
they
so
can
you
feel.
do sense there is some empathy there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Creative, intelligent, empathetic.
I would say loving. Like even if the food,
yes, loving.
even if the food wasn't here, he would still be hanging out with us because he wants to be a part of. What is it?
You know, I guess loving one is hard for everybody because people have such a hard time describing what love is, and they have such a hard time expressing love, sharing love, showing love. Love definitely can be an issue, so I think that carries right over into the horses, where when we say, have you seen the horses be loving? How about to each other? Have you seen them be loving to each other?
Molly and Travi will either hang out much of the day, or I'll notice that Travi often will be waiting
for her.
and to groom her and groom each other. And I say, Molly,
go over and see your boyfriend.
Go over and groom him. And like he's like, I'm waiting. And she sees it, but she lives it. Yeah, it's.
And
really
maybe
special.
she's not being so empathetic at the time.
You're right.
We've seen Mercy. We've seen Mercy go look for Joe when she's wanted to be with Joe. We've seen Mercy round up Travi to say, come and eat with us.
Yes, Mercy will move her body around to corral and say, come join us, be a part of our herd.
Yeah, why are you out there alone? Come and be with us. So it is not uncommon for us to see a variety and a spectrum of feelings and emotions from them. The word emotion just means to emote something, right? We're emoting. We see the horses emote all the time. They're not standing there closed off.
They get
from
excited,
everything.
they get scared.
Yeah, we see a whole range.
They get curious. Hey, what's this phone? Hey,
Yeah.
I put my sunglasses in it.
What's that? Travi is very into now exploring all of the different things that are around the shed, you know?
Right.
He's very curious. He wants to know. Those are, yes, do we have that as humans? Yes, we do, but they have it too. Do you think, David, that we are more alike with them, or are we more different?
I do.
Do we have more differences or more likenesses?
I think we have more, at least more in common than we would think we do.
I think we have way more in common and are more alike with horses than we are different from horses. Definitely. And I say that being with them for so long, the longer I spend with them, the more I feel that way, not the other way around. And it's very hard for me to believe that people who do like ranching or farming or horse breeding, that they don't see it. They're with them all the time.
It's almost like they're paid not to see it. It's in their interest to not see it. If they see it, then that's going to prevent them from their livelihood.
Yeah. Don't we think there's a way to do what they need to do and still to recognize it?
I think there is, but like we talk about, the two limiting factors with ethical treatment of equines is ego and profit.
Yes, ego and profit. Definitely the
and
enemy.
profit means time.
Yeah. Time, money, energy,
And who wants to put in extra 4 hours a week
doing it.
doing it the slow, loving?
Actually, I think when you integrate the slow, loving way, it doesn't take any more time at all.
You're
I think
right.
the
It's the conversion.
Yeah. The transition and the
Right.
conversion will definitely take time. But actually, I save time not putting any of the horses in halters anymore to lead them back and forth.
They're ready to go.
There you go. I've saved at least 10 minutes on each horse. By the end of the day, if we have
That
9
is
horses,
true.
there's 90 minutes right there that I've
That
saved.
is true because I work here and I love just throwing the rope around and they're ready to go. They already want to go home. If I don't use the lead rope, they might want to wander off.
I don't have that problem. I think you've seen. I just have the carrot.
Well, with
the
Bella,
carrot holds a lot of power. There might be
There's
a
a couple,
couple
yeah.
horses that take advantage
well,
of the
otherwise
situation.
it's quicker and it's more fun.
It's so much easier, and you don't have to be a halter, no lead rope.
And they're moving around because they
Yeah.
don't want to be in the whole time.
Anyway, so it all is like a connect the dots game with this whole thing. One person said, "Why does it matter what we call them?" And I said, "Whoa." I said, "Our words are so important. Our words are so important. Our words strike off the basis of how we are going to look and act and feel about everything. We're humans. We,
Was that a man or a woman?
I don't know the name.
Because
The name could be
if
either.
it was a man, would he like to be called a boy?
That's a good question.
If he was a certain race, would he like to call that a racially derogatory term, or would he prefer a dignified term?
Right.
So it's even the word dignified sounds like a judgment, but yeah, it bothers me when people think that words don't matter.
Yeah, words are so important. We are a species, humans, that literally have built our whole culture on our words. Words are so important.
For example, if a horse didn't know how to communicate with other horses, it would die. Because it would
Exactly.
be out of the herd. So if we can't communicate
With each
respectfully,
other.
then we're at war.
We are absolutely. And communication is so important. And if communication is important, that means words are important.
Well said, Nina.
So, did we get somewhere? Did we connect all the dots?
I think we covered a lot of ground, and I think it's frustrating because it's just like a parallel of politics. It's like, if we can't come across just treating each other with respect, then how can we dig into the deeper issues? So
And treat a horse with respect.
and treat a horse with
True.
respect. So hopefully people will listen to more and at least just be open to
All
what
we
you say.
want to do is give you some food for thought and start the thinking. Start the thinking so horses can possibly end up with a much better lot in life somewhere down the line.
Yeah, and it's not a fight because I know you like to discuss things and share your perspective, and
It's not a fight.
Yeah.
I'm really not a fighter.
you love just it's your heart. It's your I don't know. It's your
I
passion.
love a passionate and rousing conversation about important issues, and these issues are really important.
I love
Maybe,
the work you do.
if not to a person, they are important to the horse.
You're inspiring to me because you're like this is like your what is it like your purpose? Not your
It is.
purpose.
It is.
What's the
inspiring.
right word? It's like
Purpose, mission, goal.
mission. It's your mission in life, just to help.
I want to see before I go, God willing, I have many, many, many more years. I want to see a real change.
You have no ego or greed incentive in this. Is I guess what I'm saying. You're literally doing this from your heart,
Well, thank you, David.
and it's inspiring for me because
I appreciate you realizing that I have nothing to win here. Maybe only friends to lose and borders to lose and
time.
money to lose. But it is really important to me. And I know there's a lot of other people out there that it is equally important to. And because of that, and because of how important it is to the horses, I will keep opening my big fat trap.
amazing.
Thank
Good
you.
video. Yeah. Thanks for expanding.
And Travi, thank you for being the beautiful sentient being that you are.
Beautiful.